Good morning and welcome to Avon Valley Churches. This is the Saturday Conversation, and I am delighted this morning to be joined by two formidable women who are kind of involved with the same thing but in very different ways. I have with me Wendy Reid, who is the, can I say founder? Founder of the Fordingbridge Greener Living Group in Fordingbridge. And Lorraine Kingsley, the CEO of, what's it called? Toilet twinning, bin twinning, tap twinning, or is there another umbrella term?
Oh, you see, you've now asked the question that is one. Yes, that's something I need to figure out in the next few months. But at the moment, they are all separate.
They're all separate entities. So today we're going to take the opportunity. Well, we're going to do two things really. I'd love to actually use this opportunity to have a chat to Wendy and introduce you to Wendy, because she does so much great work locally and is involved with so many things. And I know that she's done various talks. You were at the town council this week, weren't you? And also to launch a very special project that Lorraine and I would love to happen in Fordingbridge. So first of all, Wendy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
About myself or Fordingbridge Greener Living?
About yourself first.
Okay. So I am I'm Wendy. I live in Fordingbridge. I've lived here for 24 years. But my grandmother came from Fordingbridge, so I've always had a connection here. And I'm a drama teacher in my career, but I'm also the founder of Fordingbridge Greener Living.
Okay. And why did you set that group up on Facebook?
We set up the group because we all felt, well, a few of us in the town felt a little depressed about climate change and about how we felt overwhelmed and helpless in the face of what was going on. And we wanted to do something about it, initially just to talk about it. But then in time, we began to realise that we could have more action and we could actually do projects which would make it feel like we were making a difference, but also would start to educate other members of the community of things that they could do, tangible things that they could do to reduce their carbon footprint and actually begin to live a slightly different life. And I think we're on our way to doing something about that, but I think there's an awful lot of work still to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking before we came on air, and Wendy was sharing lots of wonderful stories about various things. So can you just give us a snapshot of some of the things that the Fordingbridge Greener Living Group has been involved with locally?
So we set up sort of environmentally friendly projects in the town. So we have a recycling shed where you can place items that New Forest District Council don't recycle. So things like water filter cartridges, aluminium foil, pet food packaging, so scrunchy plastic. We have a community fridge where food gets donated from the co-op, and the fridge is located in the library, and we then give that food, or that food is given away to people that might need it. We also run a plastic-free community group, which is a brand new project that we've just got up and running, trying to reduce people's reliance on single-use plastic. We have a tree planting group looking at planting trees in the community. And our most recent one, which is in the process at the moment, is we got funding from Hampshire Waste for a Ryden hot composter. So we gained £5,000. So we're this weekend preparing the ground at the allotments for the arrival of our composter in a few weeks.
Oh,
so
that sounds wonderful. Again. Sorry.
So that's the things that we're doing at the minute.
Oh, brilliant. That sounds absolutely amazing. I was fascinated because I know before we came on, you were talking about the community fridge, that you saw quite a difference when we went into lockdown last year. So can you tell everyone about that?
We moved the community fridge to the branch, the New Life Community Church shop, in March when lockdown happened because the library closed. And so we realised we needed a place to host it because we thought there would be a need, but we didn't have any idea just what the need was going to be. And then the need increased. So we decided to, with collaboration with the branch, the staff there, we did some fundraising. So we did some lottery funding, we did and a Hampshire County fund. We did a GoFundMe. We did two GoFundMe fundraisers at the beginning of lockdown, and then another one in January actually. And we raised quite a lot of money so that we could actually buy food. So the fridge changed its use from being waste food to being somewhere where people could go in an emergency situation to get food. And there were a lot of people in Fordingbridge who found themselves suddenly in crisis and needed just a bit of a hand. So a lot of people, I think, were applying for benefits, but they were taking a while to come in. So they're finding themselves penniless. And so I think we helped quite a few people. The fridge is now back at the library, and it's now back into what its original purpose was. And we're just monitoring it at the moment, because we're just monitoring whether or not to change it from people in need, or really, can anybody take it? You know, you're in the library with your children, you're doing some reading after school, and there's some apples in the fridge. Why can't you take an apple? And sort of make it a bit more free for all, that waste idea, especially if the need from those people in need is reducing, then I think we will probably move it to being, you know, you're in the library getting some books, see what's in the freezer.
Yeah.
Wasting that food. But yeah, we shall see over the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And the community fridge has been, I mean, there was a food bank originally, wasn't there? And then you guys, you know, you've brought in the community fridge, and we also have the Fair Share larder now, which all of these initiatives are just amazing. They're all slightly different, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
But they all bring something different to the local area. That's brilliant. And how do you think, so my next question probably is, how do you think that everything's gone with the Fordingbridge Greener Living group?
I think that everything's gone well with what we've done so far. I think that people are really positive about it. People want to recycle. People want to get it right. There's definitely that. I do have a but though, and that's something I think we really all need to think about, and something I've been thinking about a lot. And I spoke about this at the town council the other day. We're not tackling the big issues in Fordingbridge Greener Living. And when I try to sometimes tackle it, people are very quiet. So the idea that recycling is one thing, but actually we need to be tackling energy, transport and food. And I think we need to be doing a lot more locally. I think that we should be looking at community energy projects, so we're producing our own electricity. I think we need to be mitigating against the effects of climate change over the next few years on a community level. And I don't think we're doing that at all at the moment. And I think that people, and it sounds like I'm being mean about people, and I'm really not, because I think people are doing well, but I don't think any of us are doing as much as we need to be doing. And I count myself in that number. Yeah. And so that's what I think we need to be taking a long, hard look at our habits individually and collectively as a community and as a family and our families. And we need to be doing bigger changes, harder changes. And so that's how I feel at the moment about how we move forward.
Yeah, it's so lovely to hear you talk so passionately about this, because it is, as you rightly say, it's all of our concern, and we can't just it's in that sense we all have a duty, don't we? We have a duty of care to our local environment and to the people around us and to the future. So just just kind of thinking that in a very short-term way is not helpful when it comes to this, is it?
No, no.
So yeah, that's been absolutely fascinating. So at this point, I'd like to bring in the lovely Lorraine from Toilet Twinning and Bin Twinning. So whereas Wendy works at local level, Lorraine is working at global level. So what countries do you currently work in with toilet twinning and bin twinning and fridge twinning and tap twinning?
So we generally are working in the poorest countries, in Africa, Asia, some countries in Latin America, roughly around the late 30s. It changes depending on our partner capacity and also the issues in those countries. But yeah, I think 37 countries are benefiting from toilet twinning funds at the moment.
And how does your work differentiate from just giving? Because I know we've had this conversation a number of times before. Often people sort of give money to charity, they don't really know where it's going. So how is the money spent when it goes to bin twinning or toilet twinning?
Yeah, so if I start with toilet twinning, because that's been around the longest. So toilet twinning was established in 2010, so 11 years ago now. And I think there are twinned toilets in more than 150,000 homes across the UK. So I always assume that everyone knows what I'm talking about when I talk about twinning and I talk about toilet twinning, but obviously, of course, that's not true. So when you twin your toilet, you get a certificate to hang in your loo that says this toilet is twinned, and it shows the photo of a toilet that's been built by a family overseas in a poorer community. And I guess one of the first things to say, like I do a lot of school assemblies or talks in various places. I've done talks in Fordingbridge schools, and people always just assume that that means we are building toilets, that we are sending toilets and sending water and sanitation engineers from the UK to these countries. That absolutely isn't the case at all. We are working at the grassroots level, mainly through local church organisations, to be working in a sustainable and culturally appropriate way. We don't speak the language. There's no point us going and building relationship for something between 3 to 6 years with a community. That needs to be a local organisation, because it's not just that families need to dig a pit and have a pit latrine. We need to create some jobs around the sanitation slab that will go over the hole. And helping the communities to build the surround that goes around their toilets, because it's outside, near to their home, generally not attached to it, but it needs to be within a few meters of their home and away from a water source, so that it doesn't contaminate local water supplies. So we're teaching families about how and where to build toilets, but they're doing the building, they're doing the digging. This is their land, this is their home, this is their toilet. There's no point, and we've known this for more than 40 years. There's no point us digging a latrine for a family. They simply won't use it. They will carry on going to the local river or the lake or just outside in the open, if that's what they've been doing, because the big change has to come from awareness and education and behavioural change and cultural taboos being tackled. In some of these countries like India and Pakistan, it's culturally inappropriate, it's unacceptable for a woman to go to toilet out in the open during the day. Completely okay for men, but the women have to wait until it's dark and go to a piece of land at the edge of the community where everybody knows that's where women go in the dark to go to the loo. So we've got to tackle those kind of cultural taboos and those kind of like big cultural issues, and that takes time. So as you will have heard me say, somewhere between 3 to 6 years it will take a village to go from having no toilets to having toilets that not only have they dug, but they are maintaining and they are looking after when there's rain or flooding, or there's issues to do with climate change, as Wendy referred to, or they have to know what to do when the pit is full and to dig another pit, and they have to stop working their land. These are subsistence farmers that are growing what they eat. It's very difficult to change the mindset in these communities, but they have to stop doing that. They have to take themselves away from their farming activity and prioritize digging a pit for a few days. That's actually incredibly hard. And so relationship and revisiting that family every few months and finding out how they're getting on and making sure they're using their loo is all really important stuff that needs to be happening in a culturally appropriate ways. So that's kind of toilet twinning. And then it doesn't take a huge step to then, when we go to bin twinning, to realize that we're using quite a lot of those same principles. So bin twinning, we're supporting social enterprises that are collecting rubbish for the first time ever, disposing of it safely, and trying to recycle as much as possible. A lot of these communities have been overwhelmed by single-use plastic that has come in from the giants, the big multinationals like Unilever, like Nestle, like Pepsi Cola, flooded their market with single-use plastic that they cannot cope with. And so these social enterprises are doing the most incredible work. They're saving lives, they're creating dignified green jobs, and they're protecting the planet. Otherwise, you've got local waterways clogged with single-use plastics that are then causing localized flooding. A lot of that plastic is ending up in the oceans, and also that plastic in countries like, say, Uganda, which has the 6th worst malaria rate in the world. Stagnant water is gathering in that single-use plastic out in the street and is an absolute breeding ground for mosquitoes. So hugely complex area, but just like Wendy, we all are passionate. I think more and more people are realizing that we've got to do something about climate change, that we've got to change the way we live and our relationship with waste and our relationship with single-use plastic. That's definitely happening here, but that same story is actually, that conversation is beginning in poorer nations as well. And that's really exciting to see. We all know that we're part of a global world, but we like to forget about it a lot of the time. But toilet twinning and bin twinning and now fridge twinning, which is raising funds for communities affected by the economic fallout of COVID. We've got South Sudan and Yemen on the brink of famine. We've got DRC and Afghanistan not far behind. We're funding a £3 million programme across 20 plus countries to help them create new jobs and grow their food. And so many casual labourers who rely on a daily wage have lost their job overnight because of COVID. We know that in our country, we have the furlough scheme, we have safety nets, we have brilliant things going on like Wendy's community fridge project. In so many of the countries that we're supporting, you know, none of this exists. And so we are providing the mechanisms the story of Fordingbridge is the story that we want to replicate in poorer nations. Get local people who are entrepreneurial, have dreams, have passions, have skills, mobilizing them, bringing them together, and giving them the belief that things can change.
Lorraine, you talked.
That was a very long answer, Jo, wasn't it? You asked one question, you wind me up, and I just go.
You know, one thing that I love about Lorraine is she's never lost for words. She's my dear friend, but also never lost for words.
Yeah, if you're planning to like go and put the kettle on, you know, and make yourself a tea or something, I'm so sorry, because like that. Well, you know, I didn't really take a breath, did I? You have now, though, so that's good. I just wanted to say both you and Wendy spoke very passionately about cultural change, and actually that's the thing that unites us with the rest of the world, is that in order to be better at these dealing with our rubbish and single-use plastics and fair share and all the rest of it, we have to have a cultural change as well. So just for the last few minutes of this interview, we are going to talk about, so Lorraine and I are here today with the help of Wendy to talk about a scheme that we would like to launch today, because we would like to make Fordingbridge the first bin twin town in the country. So Lorraine and I are looking to twin 50 bins, but obviously if we do a few more than that, we'd be very happy. And Lorraine, if you'd like to tell everybody how they can do that online, that would be amazing. Yeah, so you'll know, Jo, when it happened, but Fordingbridge became a toilet twins town in quite a brilliant way a few years ago, which involved families and businesses and schools and churches, basically anyone in Fordingbridge has got a loo, can twin it. And I've got to be honest, Jo, you might even know this, I can't remember off the top of my head how many toilets were twinned by everyone in Fordingbridge, but it was a quite incredible number, and it was covered by the local TV, wasn't it? It went onto the local news. Yeah, and it certainly went to the diocese anyway. That we twinned X number of, I don't know the actual figure, because I think some may have done it through the website as well and done it separately. So, well, people love to tell me that they've seen toilet twinning certificates across Fordingbridge. So this is the kind of new way. This is kind of like, you know, Mrs. Mark II. What we'd love is to see bin twinning stickers on wheelie bins and recycling bins across Fordingbridge. And so Joe has kind of like, you know, got the passion for Fordingbridge to be the first ever bin twinned town. It's quite tricky to say. I wouldn't recommend that like after a, you know, a Friday night, you know, out on the town. But yeah, so I think you're going for a wonderful plan for 50 bins to be twinned. You can choose to twin with a social enterprise in Pakistan, Haiti, Uganda, Nigeria, or Democratic Republic of Congo. And every Fordingbridge postcode that twins via our website, whether that's an individual or a school or a church or a business or whatever, all of those postcode twinnings will be added to the total. So do not fear if you go to the bin twinning website and you do a bin twin and then you have no way of identifying yourself as part of the bin twinned town campaign. You can't not be part of it, because we will scoop up all of those postcode orders and make sure that it gets registered against the campaign.
Brilliant. And there's actually a way on the website, I think it says something like church name at the top. So if they put Avon Valley Churches into that church name, that should be okay, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they can do that too. Absolutely.
But it will come under the postcode as well.
It will.
That's brilliant. We've already got a couple of the schools who've already twinned. We've had a number of people on the staff team who have twinned already. So we're already well on our way to achieving this. I can't wait. Well, we'll let you know. We'll give you an update all the way along. But if you'd like any more information, contact Gail, office@avonvalleychurches.org.uk, and you can do it through the website, as Lorraine said. What's it, bintwinning.org, did you say that? .org. So yes, you could do it through the website. Was there anything else we have to say, Lorraine?
No, I don't think so.
I think that's it. Thank you so much, you wonderful ladies, for joining me today for this special Saturday conversation. Wendy, I look forward to seeing you in Fordingbridge. Thank you for all the hard work you do. It's so very much appreciated by everybody who lives locally. And it may not feel like it sometimes, and it may be very hard work, but it's the most wonderful thing. And thank you for joining us as well, Lorraine. Look forward to seeing you very much soon. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.